Hello, this is Marian Davenport of the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching our video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We are here today to talk with candidates running in the November 5, 2024 general election. We are grateful for the support of the Carol and Belma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me today is Vadim Mozyrsky, running for Multnomah County Commissioner, District 1. That includes all of Portland and Multnomah County west of the Willamette River and parts of Portland neighborhoods in the inner and central east side on the east side of the Willamette River. Welcome, Mr. Mozyrsky.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for this office.
Well, my parents and I came to the United States as refugees 45 years ago from Ukraine when it was still part of the Soviet Union. We came here with just a few suitcases. At that time, we were only allowed to leave with $90 each, which we spent on the trip coming to the United States. We came here very poor. We didn't speak English and didn't really know how things worked here. My father took odd jobs to put food on the table until his English improved. My mother went to community college and learned to become a nurse. But a lot of people helped us along the way. We got a loan for our first car. We got help finding jobs. I know what it's like to need help from time to time. And my career has been about helping others. As a senior attorney and senior policy advisor for Medicare, I worked to make sure that people were able to avail themselves of healthcare access. And I'm very proud to have worked on the Affordable Care Act when President Obama passed it. Now, as an administrative law judge for the Social Security Administration, I work to determine if people were unfairly denied Social Security benefits, such as disability. In that role, I talk to a lot of people who live on the streets and understand what their issues are and what kind of help that they need. But more than just my jobs, I volunteered as a board member for the IRCO, the Immigrant and Refugee Community Organization, to help refugees and immigrants like my parents. I've been appointed to the Portland Commission on Disability to protect disability rights. I've been appointed to police oversight organizations, as well as the president of the Public Safety Action Coalition, to ensure that we have the resources to protect people from criminals and predators, while at the same time making sure our police force is accountable and well-trained. As the president of Coalition of Neighborhood Associations, I speak with community leaders all over Portland and work to have their voices heard in our county and city government. But we continue to have a lot of people who have problems and need help. We have people on the streets who are addicted to drugs, people with very serious mental illness. We have homeless individuals that need help quickly, and also housed individuals that feel like our government no longer cares about their needs. Our county has lurched from one crisis to the next, failing to fully fix the underlying problems. As your next county commissioner, I pledge to stop the chaos of crises and bring a period of pragmatic calm to local politics by running a more efficient and trustworthy and honest government. With your vote in this election, we will improve the lives of people in Multnomah County and the lives of future generations that will benefit from the choices we make today.
You're listening to the Video Voters Guide interview and podcast with Vadim Mozyrsky, running for Multnomah County Commissioner, District 1. Are you satisfied with the performance of the Joint Office of Homeless Services? Why or why not? And if not, what changes would you support?
No, like most Portlanders, I'm very dissatisfied with the Joint Office of Homeless Services. In the last 7 years, we've gone from a budget of $45 million to almost $400 million this year. And that doesn't count hundreds of other millions of dollars that we're spending on housing. At the same time, the statistics are dire. Deaths in the homeless community have risen by 400%. It's actually higher than that because we don't have last year's statistics. Overdose deaths have increased by 500%. Again, it's actually higher than that this year, but we don't have the statistics yet. And homicides in our homeless community have skyrocketed by 650%. The county has been slow to spend the funds that we have, and the focus now seems to be about spending the money as quickly as possible. But it's not about spending the money as quickly as possible. It's making sure that we have the results to get the job done, helping people on the streets and making sure that our communities are safe and vibrant. And so in order to do that, I've actually reached out to people working in the homeless nonprofit organizations, people that work in shelters that are doing a great job out there, such as Bybee Lakes and City Team, and learn from them what's working and what's not. I reached out to other communities that have had success. So for instance, Washington County has announced that they've eradicated unsheltered homelessness in their community. And I've learned what they've done, and I've learned how to pattern that success here. And I've talked to experts in the field that have shown the ability to have had success in other cities. It's not too difficult to have that success here, but we need to have some change. And that's the difference in this election here. I'm running on a platform of change, and my opponent is carrying on the status quo that has gotten us to where we are right now. What we need to do is actually help people get off the streets and into services. We're letting them suffer on the streets. I did a ride along with a nonprofit organization that actually goes out in a van and tries to help individuals one at a time. They're saying there's too few people out there. There's not the outreach workers, and people are left on the streets to fend for themselves. And oftentimes, unfortunately, end up dying or hurting other people on the streets. And so we need to make sure that, one, we keep track of what individuals we have in the streets using a by names list that has worked in other places, and making sure that they stay in a continuum of care. Two, we divide the county into grids and send out outreach workers and say, we have a place for you to go, but not here. Three, we need to build out our shelter spaces. So I'll use Washington County as an example again. In 2 years, they went from 40 shelter spaces to 400. They quickly built out places for people to go where they can get services and not have to live out in the cold and the rain on the streets. We need to do that here in Portland. We need to enforce our laws. So City Council passed unanimously sit-lie ordinance saying if we have a place for you to go, whether it's a shelter, a safe rest village, a TOS site, high barrier shelters, low barrier shelters, you need to meet us halfway, meet us there, and go to the shelters where you can get the help that you need. And in the meantime, we need to enforce our laws if they refuse to do that. And then we need to provide the services. And that's where we need to have good planning in the county, because we do need to improve on detox services. We need to improve on transitional housing. Unfortunately, our county has not done enough of that. We have the funding to do that. We're just not spending it. So when the police are asking for a 24-hour drop-off center where we can take people who are inebriated to get the help that they need, we unfortunately don't have one, even though it's been 5 years since the last one's closed down. We need to act with urgency and build one, just again, like Washington County has been able to do, but have it built here so we can get people the services that they need. And that's why we need good planners on the county commission, people with experience working in government, people with experience in coordinating policies between city, state, county, and the federal government. And I have that experience, and I'll make sure that we get the job done.
Thank you, Mr. Mozyrsky. This concludes our video voters guide and podcast interview with Vadim Mozyrsky, running for Multnomah County Commissioner, District 1. Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. Please be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and exercise your right to vote. Thank you.